Let's start with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, it's an F. With how Deshaun Watson, the injuries and the contract, like what a freaking just Pooh Bear porta potty dump.
Yeah, it feels like there's kind of a lack of direction going on in Cleveland. You're going to have to pretty much get rid of all your talented pieces that are worth anything and then start fresh. And that can't even happen for another year. So you're kind of in limbo. That leaves me with an F. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's just more of the same, average, what we expect. So I give them a C. Finished with 6 L's in a row or 5 L's in a row. With Russell Wilson, you brought in Justin Fields. You're bringing in Fields at the weirdest times of the game. Still got issues with Pickens. The defense has issues, and then you lose your first playoff game. You haven't won a playoff game in, 8 years, 7, 8 years.
Right.
Steelers fans are fed up, and I would be too.
I'm going to go B-. Obviously, you made the playoffs, but it was impressive that they got themselves to that point where they were like 10-3, and really they, with that backloaded schedule, knew they were going to lose a lot of games down the stretch. Steelers got to find a way to shake things up and get a restart, get a refresh.
Yeah.
With Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll go C- just for the fact that we had a triple crown receiver on our team, which could bring the grade down even if you wanted to not make the playoffs. 1-11 the first 2 weeks, the last 6 years, absolutely horrible. It's been the same thing. You lose your first week, lost at home to the Patriots. You can't close out the Ravens at home. You muff the snap. Same thing happens to Chargers. You get in field goal range twice, 2 missed field goals. It was just bad execution from every single facet of the ball. Kept Marvin Lewis for 16 years. We're not going to get rid of Zach Taylor, although I think we should have, and C-, but could really go D area.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I'm going to go C-. If you were to break down this talent on this defensive roster, I mean, it's no shock that they gave up 35 points.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact number is, but it's no shock that, bad teams are putting up big time numbers on them. The Bengals front office really has given them no reason to succeed on the defensive side of the ball after the moves they made this offseason. It's a major letdown that your offense, with all the talent, didn't get you guys into the playoffs. But I can't really put it on them. They put up a ton of points. They were the best offense in the league, virtually, with the best quarterback in the league. So this all comes down to defense. It comes down to one side of the ball cost the Bengals this season.
Well said.
Baltimore Ravens.
I'm going to go B- because of Derrick Henry. It ended up being a great addition. I think that move, 2,000 yards, but we saw playoff Lamar. It's the issue that always comes up. He now has more turnovers than touchdowns in the playoffs, and he's 3-5. He had 4 picks all year. The guy plays absolutely insane in the regular season, but as soon as the playoffs come around, something happens. It almost feels like he tries to do too much, even with the fumble on that. I know the snap was high, but he fully gathered himself, and then he fumbled the ball. Throw it away, get down, do something. That turned the whole game. I'll go B- though. I mean, they were dominant in the AFC North.
The moves they made this offseason, like you mentioned, were really solid. Obviously, Lamar, impact season, MVP style season. You saw guys like Zay Flowers take a step forward. The biggest knock on them, obviously, is the postseason performance. I'm not going to kill Lamar as much as you just because I felt like he did so many things right down the stretch. I think you got to look at Mark Andrews and just be like, hey, man, Travis Kelce makes that play. Big time players make that play. He put it in your bread's basket to tie the game with a minute to go. Defense really needs to be reworked. I think there's some secondary pieces they got to get rid of and bring in some new skill. But I'm going to go B for the overall season with the Ravens.
Yeah, and I don't want to put it completely on Lamar. It's just the Lamar we've seen in the playoffs of the past. I mean, Mark Andrews on the fumble that he had across the middle of the field, across the 50. Right. He's running west. He's not running north-south, and it gets punched out. And then, the ball's right there. Lamar led an 88-yard drive. I know there's a minute and a half left, and Josh Allen probably does get them in field goal range, but still, catch the ball, tie the game on the road. So that's embarrassing.